So this is interesting because I can go from A minor to A major and then A minor to D major. Just a little bit of a challenge so that it's not just me playing in one key. Let's talk about the chords. F major 7 to G, G to A major. And that's where it switches from the key of A minor to the key of A major. Then we restart, F major 7, G, and then C, and then D. And when it goes to that D major, it's really cool to state a real strong third in the key of D and switch to D major for a second, which is also the same as A Dorian. One of the things about these chords is I'm letting the high E string ring all the time, and the bass note's sort of implied. If my hands were as big as Jimi Hendrix's, I would keep the thumb in all the time, but they're not quite big enough, so I just let the thumb kind of hang. And I leave the low E string alone for this. So what I do is pretty much play A natural minor, which is the key of C major, for the first two chords. I'll demonstrate. And then when it goes to the A major chord, I really have to switch to A major. And that's the fun part. I'll demonstrate that. Now, I wouldn't do it that literally, but you get the idea that there really has to be a change there from A minor to A major. So this time I'll do it more musically with the third just being traveled through when I go to A major. That way you're not completely kind of announcing the key change, but you're kind of traveling through it. And that's kind of a trick I use. If you keep a flow going, a lot of these changes disappear in a nice way. So now let's look at the other key change, which is on the second half. I can play in A minor, A natural minor. And then when it goes to C, I can stay in A natural minor. But then when it goes to D, I can really play in the key of D mixolydian, really, which is really the key of G major, and really kind of accent the third of the D. Now, another way that I look at this, always good to remember that I simply look at the chord shapes when I'm playing. So I'd see an F here, and an F here, and an F here, and an F here. Now I see a G here, G here, G here, here, and A major. Everywhere I see these chord shapes, it informs me in another way that's not thinking of scales. It informs me of where and what I can play. And so really when it gets from the C to D, I actually am more seeing a C chord and a D chord than I am thinking A natural minor and D mixolydian. And I'll try and demonstrate that to you. See, I went to kind of a C shape, and then a D. Now let me do the opposite of that and just do the minimal change that I can possibly do, and that's really the A major. The whole rest of the time, I'm going to try and stick to pretty much an A minor tonality, maybe even A minor pentatonic. And indeed, you saw me ignore the A major. And that creates a toughness, actually. If the band is playing A major, and with a committed stance, and you believe in what you're doing, you ignore the major and play minor, then you're doing it on purpose, and you're making things more rock. So that's a little rule that you can break to be tough. And indeed, when you're soloing, it's nice to go from one world to the other, because if I give you one round of soloing in A pentatonic minor that's just kind of tough and simple and rock, it's going to make the melodic playing that I do on the next round more fresh and more interesting. I'll demonstrate that. I'll start with pentatonic and then go melodic. So the two approaches complement each other, and they allow you to keep a fresh approach as you're traveling through your soloing. You can literally turn off your knowledge and play simply in A minor pentatonic, or you can turn on your brain and follow the chords, follow the scales, and make melodies.